Hi guys, it's Francisca and welcome back to my video. This video is going to be a bedtime story about a Japanese legend of Shinigami, or essentially Japanese death gods. Now, before we start, grab your favorite pajama and your favorite pillow and let's start. So, guys, have you ever heard about Shinigami? Now, if you are a fan of anime and you have watched Death Note, then you may be familiar with this word. But if you aren't, then don't worry, I'm going to tell you in a bit. So, what is a Shinigami? Well, essentially, a Shinigami is like the Grim Reaper from Japanese culture. The difference between Japanese Shinigami and Western Grim Reaper is that Grim Reaper may be seen or described as the harvester of soul. Meanwhile, a Shinigami only ensure that people die when their time comes and guide their souls into the afterlife. Now, there is a very famous Japanese legend about a Shinigami, so let's talk about it. In a traditional tale, there was a man who was fed up with his life and wanted to commit suicide. However, before he could do so, he was visited by the Shinigami who told him that his time hasn't yet come. He explained to the man that every person's life is measured on a candle, and when the candle burns out, that means the time for that person has come. So that means the Shinigami has no control over who lives and who dies. So, to prevent the man from committing suicide, the Shinigami told him a very quick way to earn money, and that is to pretend to be a doctor that can cure any form of disease. There is a magic word that can be said to make the Shinigami forced back into the afterworld. So, the Shinigami told him to be a fake doctor, to tell these magic words, and to force back the Shinigami into the afterworld to lengthen a person's life. So, with this newfound knowledge, the man quickly grew his wealth, until one day he was visited by a family, and the family wanted him to cure someone. When he enters this family's house, he saw that the Shinigami was sitting at the head of the bed. Now, before, the Shinigami told him that if the Shinigami is sitting at the foot of the bed, then that means the person can be saved with that magic word. But if the Shinigami is sitting at the head of the bed, then that means the person on the bed has to die. So, now that the man has seen the Shinigami at the head of the bed, he knew that he couldn't save that person. But the family kept begging him and pleaded to him and gave him a lot of money, and so he agreed to help them. When he saw that the Shinigami dozed off, he quickly switched the orientation of the bed, and then that lengthened the person's life. Now, the Shinigami is obviously mad about this, so he planned to trick the man. Later that night, the Shinigami asked the man to go out for a drink, and then he bring him to a building filled with candles. The Shinigami showed him his candles, and he showed him that his candle was almost burned out because of his action earlier. And so he told him that he can lengthen his life by transferring the wick and wax of his candle onto another person's candles. But because he was drunk, he failed his attempt and died. So that's the end of the story. I am curious to hear your thoughts. Do you think this is scary? Do you think this is interesting? Please comment your thoughts down below in the comments, and I will make sure to read every single one of them. Goodbye and see you in the next video.